Hello, hello, hello. It's coffee time, but the coffee cup is gone, and you can hear the sound of dog crying. Probably come in or go out, or go out or come in. You know, it's my life now. Brr, it's cold. It was -6. It was -6 this morning when I took the dog out for a walk. You get used to the noise. You get used to it. But why are we here? I don't know. Why are we here? Why do we do this? I have no idea. I have no idea. But yeah, we're going to look at the Daily Mail website because it's something to do, isn't it? Yeah, good. Well, it's Thursday, the 15th of December, and the remaining episodes of Harry and Meghan's documentary has dropped on Netflix, and that's all over the Daily Mail, I'd imagine. Yeah, it is. Who cares? Privileged twat complains about being privileged. Privileged twat doesn't want to serve the country, complains about it. Fair enough. Should have looked at his mum. Sorry, not his boy. What happened to his mum? She didn't want to serve the country either. She wanted to do her own thing, you know. And does anyone care? I don't, because their lives are so hard, and it's so hard. And yeah, there's just reams of this stuff. Reams. I'm just scrolling. Look, I'll show you. Look, there's just loads and loads and loads. I do not care. I do not care. Why should we care about any of this? You know, he won the lottery by his birth. You know, he won the lottery. He could do anything he wanted, and he chooses to do this. But there you go. He could have done great things, but he did this, and that's how he'd be remembered. That's fine. That's fine. But brr, it's cold. Meanwhile, the Bank of England did raise interest rates from 3% to 3.5% because it seems fair, innit? Meanwhile, court news. Well, it's more like justice news. Justice news. Boris Becker. Poor old bonking Boris. Here he is. He's been released from Clink today. Yeah, he was released from jail, and yeah, he's going to be deported. Now, look, it was fraud, right? He did a fraud, right? And we're deporting him. Now, this fella's got a career over here. He does, you know, commentary and whatnot, and we're deporting him because he's a dangerous criminal. Now, how many, I don't know, murderers, rapists, child offenders, you know, have been left to make their lives here because, you know, we can't get rid of them. We can't flush those turds away. But we get rid of Boris Becker because of some fraud. Well, it's because he annoyed the taxman, didn't he? Oh, that's the worst crime. That's the worst crime of all, isn't it? And this is the... are there going to be any well-meaning leftists on the plane saying, no, don't deport him back to Germany, stopping the flight? I wonder if... No, there won't be any. There won't be any. So yeah, he's back home to the fatherland, or motherland, depending on what regime you follow. But his mum says... his mum has been reportedly said, this is the best Christmas present I could hope for. I cannot wait to hold my beloved son in my arms. So that's a good thing. But yeah, poor old Boris. I think, again, it's just a money crime. I don't think he should be deported over it, you know. I mean, can't we just get rid of all the bad people, the really bad people who really hurt people? Not Boris. Not Boris. I used to love listening to Boris when he was young, and I was young, and I used to listen to Wimbledon on the radio with my little earpiece in. Oh, I used to love those old days. But yeah, this is the hypocrisy of our legal system. It really is. Meanwhile, more court news. We're talking about Donna Griffiths. Here she is. Now she looks like she enjoys a good time. She looks like she'd be up for it. Was she up for it? Let's find out. Um, right, she was the manager of a village hotel. She was sacked after her drunken behaviour led to customers leaving reviews on TripAdvisor saying she was like something from Shameless, the TV show, without the intellect. Blimey, that's a stinger. I bet her ears burnt then. But yeah, Donna Griffiths was at an employment tribunal here, where she was accused of vulgar, hideous and disgraceful behaviour towards Barrington Arms staff and guests in Oxfordshire. Yeah. So, but she sued the owners on Wednesday for unfair dismissal and won on a technicality. Yeah, the judge ruled but the judge ruled she'll receive no compensation as her unacceptable and blameworthy conduct had contributed to her being fired. So she won, but she didn't win. Yeah, she won on a technicality, but won't get a payout. So, but yeah, there's a TripAdvisor review here. Let me just read this. This is a good one. This is from Kevin B. He says, as a regular of many years when this pub was at its lowest armpit of a place in the village, I always tried hard to support it as a local pub. But for several years it cleaned up its act and became a destination of choice for many of the locals and visitors, but alas, no more. It's either empty, surprise, surprise, or as what can only be described as loud, vulgar and foul-mouthed patrons led by no less than the landlady herself. It is once more not a pleasant place to visit at all. How it makes money I cannot fathom. Friday night is like an episode of Shameless, but with less class. So he said less class, not less intellect. You misquoted him. And also you changed the meaning of his quote. So sorry to pen this. This could be a pleasant and convivial pub. It has a long history, unfortunately checkered over the last 10 to 15 years. The owners need to start sorting out, or surely it will close down for good. Getting a decent set of manager landlord will go a long way, but it's going to take a lot of effort to sort out the current clientele and make the place welcoming. There you go. There you go. So yeah, it sounded like she wasn't doing a very good job of running the place. But I like the way how she won, but didn't win. Yeah, Schrodinger's victory there. Schrodinger's employment tribunal. They put her in a box, and she won and didn't win at the same time. A lot of things about falling on ice. Don't fall on the ice. You might find even worse delays than you feared because of NHS strikes. Oh yeah, of course. Because everyone's striking. That'll be good. Should we do some Ukraine news? Russia has issued a fresh nuclear threat to the UK. That's nice. Apparently, Russian state media has released footage of another Yars. Yar? Do they come from Norfolk? Yar, the River Yar. Yar's nuclear missile being loaded into a silo in the south of Moscow. And that's what that looks like. He's probably made of cardboard. He'll be fine. He's not going to do anything. Remember, this is the guy who fell down the stairs and pooped himself. But yeah, one of their pro-Putin MP and military expert Lieutenant General Andrei Gurilev made the threat that London is next door. Really? We have to do better than that. So yeah, they're threatening nuclear attack again. Yeah. We lived through the 80s, some of us. We had AIDS and the threat of nuclear destruction. Yeah. And at the end of it, Stockaken and Waterman. What more do you want? Oh, this is London news. Tottenham Court Road tube station was evacuated when there was a fire, and there was lots of. I mean, this looks like the windows inside this place were dirty, rather than there being a fire, doesn't it? I mean, were the people who took this picture having a bit of "How's your father?" Steamy windows! That was my best Tina Turner impression there. This isn't news. This is just people standing around. Look, that's not news, is it? I wanted flames. Oh, mind you, here's some of Her Majesty's Sorry, His Majesty's Fire Brigade going in. I'll get used to doing that. Yeah, so so stay at home. Don't go out there, folks. Don't go out there. Meanwhile, they reckon that Tories face election disaster. Yeah, exactly. An analysis of 108 coastal seats found the share down 51%. There you go. From 51% to 32% from 2019. This is YouGov. Any result you want, Gov. That's what its real title should be. Wait a minute. I should get the sun on me. Oh. So yeah, wow. Look, and there's even a thing. Look, so you can. Yeah. Well, we'll wait and see. I've got another. Is it another 2 years? Meanwhile, I don't know if did you get that story outside the was it a Chinese embassy in Manchester, wasn't it? Was it, the Consulate General? Like, it was the Consulate General of the People's Republic of China in Rusholme, right? And there was a big brouhaha. There was a protest, I guess it was pro-democracy protest, and one protester got dragged in, right? Here he is. He's being dragged in, and the police is doing a great job. They're doing a little bit of tug of war. To me, to you, to me, to you. Anyway, the protester got dragged in, and they beat the living snot out of him and put him in hospital. And but yeah, Consul General Zheng Huihang and 5 of his staff who are responsible. Here he is. Now, you wouldn't want to get into a fight with him. He looks like he's a bit of a biter. He's a biter. He's a biter. Oh, he's a biter. That's a reference to Vic and Bob for you there. He looks a bit of a bite. But anyway, him and 5 other staff have disappeared. They've gone back to China. And Foreign Secretary James Cleverly. It's so hard to remember who is who in the government anymore. But it's James Cleverly now. He's the Foreign Secretary. He went, he complained that they were allowed to basically flee like cowards back to Beijing. Well, it's what they do. It's what the Chinese do, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah. Put him in hospital, they did. Meanwhile, I'm going to tell you to stay at home again if you're planning to go to the Winter Wonderland in Hyde Park. Yeah, because they've got all these rides. They've got these rides there. And this happened last night. Whee! It's not meant to be like that. Ah, wee, ooh, ah, wee. Yeah, that's not meant to happen. One of the ropes snapped apparently, and there were 2 of them inside that spherical construction were left banging around. Of course, when they got them out, you just say, "It's all part of the ride." It's all part of the ride. That was you got the deluxe ride, extra scary. Now go on, sod off. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I reckon. I said it was cold. Brr, it was cold. If you're nice, I might show you some of the pictures I took. Apparently, temperatures plummeted to as low as -12 overnight in the Cotswolds. Well, I don't live in the Cotswolds. All the rich people live there, don't they? I live in rotten old Loughton. I do, don't I? By Epping Forest, and it was -6 when I took Layla out this morning. And but yeah, they said there's not going to be any let up in Britain's big freeze. Oh, that's nice. And Manchester Canal, it froze. It froze. Brr. Yeah, look at that. This is a snow-covered beach in Tyneside. Brr. You'll get used to the sound of the dog crying. And these are some of the temperatures Look at that. Brrr. You can tell it's cold because it's all blue. Good, isn't it? What, you want to look at some of the pictures? Oh, wait a minute. There's another weather warning. Here we go. Oh, God. I'm going to do the joke again. Don't eat the yellow snow. I should really change it from a yellow snow and ice warning to, I don't know, a red. No, is that better? I don't know. Yellow snow just doesn't sit. There's a lot of yellow snow. We saw a lot of yellow snow this morning. But yeah, I took some pictures because I'm a regular David Bailey. I am. What I am. Let me see if I can rustle up my Facebook page. Facebook page. Here we go. Look at that. I call this one Snowballs on Jessel Green. Let me just put it up. Here we go. Looks a bit like a Pink Floyd album cover by Storm Thorgerson, doesn't it? Yeah? What about that one? Brr, -6. Now the next one is, I got some lens flare. Look at that. Lens, actual genuine lens flare there. Wow. Wow. You live vicariously through me. And that was my morning. Brr. 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 So I was just replying to Facebook comments. Mr. Schroederus. I think that's how you say his name. I've known him for a long time. I've known him for a very long time. What else have we got? I don't know. Should we cover that one? I don't know. Oh, sorry, the sun's in my eyes. Trying to find a. That's not a good story. That's not a good story. Yeah, this is. I'm gonna have to. I'm not happy about this. I can get the sun shining on the top of my head. Look at that. That's good, isn't it? I'm very, very upset. Why am I upset? Because it was only announced very recently that Henry Cavill had returned to being Superman. Here he is. Here he is. And today, it's come out he's not Superman anymore. They've dumped him. James Gunn. I used to like you, James. I'm going to have to unfollow you on Twitter. They've got new plans for Superman. I think they're already planning a reboot with I think there's a Black Superman film, which they've been working on. It seems to be been working on that for years. Again, DC movies. They're nobody cares. They only want Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman. That's it. But yeah, so poor old Henry, he's out of a job, isn't he? He's out of a job. Oh, come on. How could you put him out of a job? What a beefcake. But Marvel, if you're listening, I'm sure that Kevin Feige at Marvel's listening to this. I imagine that he watches this. Captain Britain. Was it Brian Braddock? Was he the first one? Because I know Captain Britain from the old days, from like the 70s, because I'm that old. Yeah, Captain Britain. There you go. I just feel sorry for Henry because he gave up The Witcher as well. He's in that Witcher show based on that terrible game that I really have never been able to get into. I keep going back to it every so many years. I go back to it. I still can't. I just don't like it. I wish I could get into it, but I can't. Right, what else have we got here? Oh God, there's more. There's more Harry and Meghan halfway down. Look, there's more of it. There's more. We just want privacy for our children, and there's pictures of their children. I don't know. I think it just look. There's even ultrasound pictures. I think they're just. I don't know. God, it won't stop. There's loads of it. There's loads, and look, there's the other one as well. Look. God, you can't get away from him. And this is a weird one. This is court news. This is a groping story. Deepa Meghan is accused of groping a paramedic's genitals. She was found unconscious and drunk by the alleged victim after a 999 call. Yeah. It's complicated. It's complicated, but there you go. But although she groped his genitals, the alleged victim's colleague, who was driving the ambulance, said he was being unprofessional and inappropriate for allowing it to happen, and that when the alleged victim called the police, it was blown out of full proportion. So there you go. So I guess, I don't know, did the paramedic say go and do that just to placate them? I don't know. So yeah, when she was roused in the early hours of the morning outside a bagel shop on Wembley High Road, northwest London, Meghan swore at the paramedics. But the alleged victim gave evidence at Harrow Crown Court wearing his paramedic's uniform, supported by a crutch on his left side. God, does she grope him that hard that he can't walk without the aid of a crutch? He said that blackout drunk Meghan had been grabbing his thigh on the way to hospital. While in the back of the ambulance alone together, he said she insisted he was beautiful and sexy and asked him to run away with her. She then grabbed the paramedic by the genitals through his trousers when they arrived at Northwick Park Hospital. There you go. So yeah. But yeah, the victim also says she swore a few times at my crewmate and called him a dickhead a few times. Again, this is how you know you've had a good night out, isn't it? When you end up in an ambulance grabbing a paramedic by the danglers. Yeah. There's a lot to read here. This story goes on. This story goes on and on and on. Also, she grabbed his buttock as well. Yeah. But yeah, David Armour, the paramedic who was driving the ambulance, told jurors he thought the alleged victim acted inappropriately and unprofessionally by allowing Meghan to continue to touch him. He said that he'd never seen a paramedic not take action to move away from a drunk and disorderly patient. Consequently, he described the alleged victim's response as blown out of proportion. So the driver's kind of come out in defence of the groper and not in the gropee. But yeah, Meghan denies one count of sexual assault, and the trial continues. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Now, I think the paramedic probably just kind of allowed that to go on while he was treating her. You know, or maybe it's down to inexperience. He did say he'd only been working as a paramedic for 9 months, so maybe it's a little bit of inexperience. I don't know. So yeah, that was one. Now we've got. This is a murder. We've got a murder. It was murder. This is a murder investigation has been launched in Qatar after a Scottish oil rig worker was beaten to death on an offshore platform. Yeah, I don't know if it was this one, but this is for illustrative purposes. This is a Sea Fox Burge oil platform, but it gives you an idea. But yeah, it's been claimed that the dead man had been bludgeoned with a breathing apparatus bottle before his body was wrapped in a bedsheet, and attempts were made to conceal it in a bathroom. The suspect, from Aberdeen, had reportedly planned to flee by helicopter, but was detained after attacking a second man who had gone to check on his co-worker. Blimey. And he's understood to have suffered serious injuries. And yeah, one worker said apparently one guy battered the other with a breathing apparatus bottle. We were told him wrapped him up in a bedsheet and put him in the bathroom, and then went on for his dinner. A third guy saw him and asked how the dead man was, and he said he was going to see him. He followed him back and then hit him over the head and started to strangle him. but he managed to escape. God, it all happened. That's it. But yeah, blimey. But this is the injured fella, Christopher Begley. He's looking happy here. Look, he's got a drink there. So yeah, blimey. It's all going on there, isn't it? It's all going on. God, don't know. Bludgeon it with an air bottle. God, blimey. Yeah. Blimey, was that the time? Are there any other stories that aren't Harry and Meghan? Hundreds of them. Hundreds. There are hundreds of Harry and Meghan. Meanwhile, what is this? This is influencer news, right? There you are. This is influencer news. A food blogger called Fatty Goes to Africa is stabbed to death by a rival during a live stream from Kathmandu market. That sounds perfectly reasonable, yeah. Yeah, the 20-year-old Chinese victim was reportedly attacked by a rival food blogger in the city on 4th of December. Oh, God, they've actually... Oh, no, I can't show that. There's actually horrible pictures of him covered in blood. And, and this is the guy who did it. They got a mugshot of him. Looks like he's been through the wars as well, hasn't he? So, yeah. God, blimey. And this is the fellow who was attacked. Blimey. Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought that vlogging would end... Oh, I hope no one comes for me. Oh, my God. Could happen one day. But I've got a dog. I've got a vicious dog who will attack. God, the time I had getting her coat on this morning. Yeah, she wasn't happy. But we got there in the end. Meanwhile, in India, don't drink the booze. Dozens of people have died and several others have been hospitalised in India after drinking toxic alcohol. It happened in 2 villages in the eastern state of Bihar, where the sale and consumption of liquor are prohibited. Again, alcohol's banned in several Indian states, and there's a black market in alcohol. Of course, it's totally unregulated and incredibly dangerous. And yeah, they reckon that this unregulated alcohol kills hundreds of people every year. But yeah, the latest incident, men in Saran district began vomiting on Tuesday before their condition deteriorated. But yeah. Senior police officer Santosh Kumar said authorities have cracked down on illicit alcohol shops in the area. We've arrested over a dozen liquor traders and detained some others, Kumar told the press. But yeah. Of the estimated 5 billion litres of alcohol drunk in India every year, 40% of it is illegally produced, according to the International Spirits and Wine Association of India. Blimey. But in July, 42 people died in Gujarat after drinking moonshine. It can send you blind. Meanwhile, Mohammed Naziri from Iran is safe he's facing the death penalty. What did he do? Well, there's been protests all across Iran, isn't there, at the moment? There's like anti-government protests. Well, he's facing death penalty because he gave away chocolates and hugs. Yeah, chocolates and hugs. But yeah, his friends say he was handing out hugs and chocolates to demonstrators, but he was nabbed by the pro-government militia and forced to confess to violently attacking them. But his friends said no. And this follows Majid Reza Ranavad, who was executed on Monday in Iran. He's another protester that they've got, and he was executed. That's the ones you know about. That's the thing, about that. Those are the people that you know about. There'll be many who just disappeared, and Meanwhile, let's go to Tokyo. What's happening in Tokyo? There's been a massive spike in people dying in the road. Yeah. Apparently, people have been getting blind drunk and lying in the road and getting hit by cars. And they reckon this is due to the COVID restrictions being released, eased, released. And the death toll of Tokyo street sleepers have doubled from 7 to 13 in a year, with 10 of those in 2022 being drunk. Yeah, I reckon the drinkers are so pissed, they think they're actually lying at home in their beds when they get hit by these cars. And here are some pictures. Look at that. This is how you know you've had a good night out. Yeah. I mean, this fella, look, he's undressed for bed. Look at that. And that is how you die of exposure. Literally. Well, see. But it is. And if it's cold, because again, the first signs of exposure is feeling very hot, and then you take your clothes off, and then you die. Didn't know that, did you? There you go. So there you go. Meanwhile, more court news. How many kids have been charged with stealing cars in the last 3 years? I'll tell you, 1,150. And the youngest offenders are just 10. Doesn't it make you feel proud? This was researched by Direct Line Motor Insurance. Oh dear. Yet in the years 2019 to 2021, some 1,156 under-18s have been charged with vehicle theft. And those figures are supplied by the Ministry of Justice. That equals about one a day. Are they trying to scare you? Are they trying to scare you into buying insurance? I think they are. I'm just hoping I can find an animal story. Meanwhile, let's talk about Jeremiah Johnson from Fort Worth in Texas. And I've got to get it queued up right. This is a bit of footage. He's one of those jocks, I guess. Oh no, it's an advert. We don't want an advert. Don't want an advert. This advert goes on for a minute. Really? Just for a tiny little clip. But don't worry, because what we'll do is we'll show you Jeremiah. Here he is. Here he is now. Look at that. And you're probably thinking, yeah, he really is he's a jock, isn't he? Oh god, the advert still hasn't run. It's a 58-second advert featuring Ashley Bloody Banjo. He can't even play the banjo. And he's talking to some kids. It's a Christmas ad. I'm just describing it to you. Don't worry, only another 30 seconds to go of me wittering whilst this ad plays. But I want to show you this Jeremiah Johnson in action. Right? Whoops. This advert's it's promoting Lakeside. Go to Lakeside, and if you're lucky, you might bump into Ashley Bloody Banjo. Anyway, here we go. We're ready now. We're ready. Here we go. Come on, play it. Play the footage. Why won't you play it? Oh, this has gone totally wrong. Wait a minute. We waited all that time for Ashley Banjo, and it didn't happen. This is wrong. I'm gonna make this work. Trust me, I'm gonna make this work. Even if it kills me. You give me Ashley Banjo again, and I'll be mighty annoyed. Just won't play it. I think it's broken. I think the actual Daily Mail website is broken. Oh look, I've now got an advert for Starbucks. Here we go. We got it. Here we go. Look at him. Look at him running. Look at him going. Look. Whoa. Look at him go. Woohoo! Look at him. Right, you can watch him again here, right? Right. He's unstoppable. There he goes. Bam! Right. That's Jeremiah Johnson. Right, he's a powerhouse. A powerhouse. Right. Here he is again. Here's another picture of him. There he is. He's going to be a big star. Thing is, he's only 12 years old. Yeah, 12 years old. That's the punchline. That is the punchline. He's 12 years old. Can you believe that? Wowzers. Wowzers. This was meant to be a short one. I feel like it's going on. Meanwhile, coffee shop in the future. This is a cafe in Dubai where... Oh, what would you call this? I don't know. A sex doll will serve you. Yeah, I shit you not. The Cyber Cafe will open in Dubai next year, where Donna, the droid, I should call her Anne. Anne droid. It's obvious. Will be serving you. And I guess this is based on... Yeah, this is based on Eastern European model Diana Gabdelina. It's like the Stepford Wives. It's not good, is it? I'm still waiting. Nope, there are no animal stories. There are no animal stories. Have I got one in the? Just see if I've got one. In the old. No, I haven't. But I got sports news. Got sports news. Right. Right. I've got to get this queued up. Because there's always an advert, isn't there? There's always an advert. This is an advert for Betfair. We don't want Betfair. This is not good content. Why do they have all these adverts? Why? It's quite a big advert as well. £5 free bet with Betfair apparently. But don't gamble. There's another advert. 2 adverts. Wow, and that's for the health lottery. Here we go. This is what you're seeing here is a very important sports thing. You see that there? That we're going to see it again in slow motion. You're probably wondering what that is. I'm going to tell you. That is a man winning a sausage throwing contest. He threw his meat pipe 110 feet. That's further than the length of 3 school buses. Yeah, but he didn't manage to break his own 2019 record, which he flung the sausage 171 feet. But yeah, he reckoned he had a strong wind behind him. Yeah, that's Todd Rothwell. Todd Rothwell, or as we call him, the Sausage Master. Yeah, he's the 56-year-old software engineer. Said newcomers could use his insider knowledge to challenge. You know, apparently you've got to warm your sausage up first. I like it better when there are animal stories. Mind you, it sounds like the computer's taking off. Anyone in the chat? I doubt it. Scott's in. He said, good morning for my hi-ho, hi-ho, hi-ho. Good morning, Scott. Only 6 people in. Like I said, that's what I like to see. No one's watching. And Thomas is in. He said, looking well. I'm always looking well. And the Bank of England raised the rates. Indeed. Indeed. But will we be able to afford to live here next June? Because that's when our mortgage comes up for renewal. It should be fun. And with that, we'll end it there. We'll end it there. That was terrible. That was rubbish. Have a nice day to you too, Zeb, who was lurking with his spanner in his hand, waiting to pounce on any ne'er-do-wells. And yeah, thank you for watching. that was the news. Killing the channel. One video at a time. Whoop, whoop. And yeah, you got to imagine a cup, drink it up, or took it outside. Like you do. Ta-ta.